What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Playbook Sports Podcast. Coming at you guys. Weird week this week. Obviously, we've got the 3 games on Thanksgiving and the first ever Black Friday game this week. So we're going to split it up a little bit. We're going to do the first set of games right now, and then we'll talk about Sunday's games a little bit later in the week when we have some more information on injuries and everything going on. It is only, Tuesday, so we're getting this out early. You know the boys. I don't need to introduce them. We got Fire Eberflus right
Yep.
now. We got Cephs. Unfortunately, we do not have Don with us. He's having some internet issues. But briefly, let's discuss last week. In a week, most consistent week we've ever had on Game Pick.
Before we get into today's video, guys, I just want to give a special shout out to today's sponsors, starting with Gold Fine and Bowles, lawyers for the injured. Personal injury, workers' compensation, those are their two things, but any sort of legal advice, they're the people to call. Give them a phone call, 309-673-5144. Tell them we sent you, okay? And I'd also like to shout out SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video as well. Use promo code PlayBookSports on their website to get $20 off your first purchase of $30 or more. Let's get back to the video.
Everybody on the podcast, well, except for Sage, but 4 of us went 7-7, and Sage went 6-8. I mean, that's crazy.
That's impressive.
We all
man.
had one game where, one of us was right. Everybody, I think almost everybody went solo once, and they were right every time.
Yeah, I think mine was my Chicago Bears.
It was.
Wee.
It was. Bears with the cover. I will say,
Yep.
Colin, you went solo once. It was the dumbass pick of the week.
I
That was the
also
only
went
time.
solo, I think, on the – did Bob also have the Packers, or was I solo on the Packers?
You were solo on the Packers. Yes. Nice.
2-9 or some shit now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like 2-9 on the year. It's like, okay, we'll throw one of your two by
And
yourself.
then I was solo on the Rams to cover at home. And I was solo on Kansas City. Did not work out. What a kind of a disappointing game
Yeah.
last night.
I mean, I think it showed Philly's passing game is questions. I mean, I got big questions. Why are they running so many bubble screens? I mean, Jalen's knee has to be impacting them in the play calling just in general, but does not look good offensively in that passing game. But then they go into Arrowhead and beat Kansas City and Andy Reid off of a bye.
Yeah.
And when they were down, and they had to fight and take that lead and then make a stop. Valdez-Scantling with a massive drop for Patrick Mahomes. But I said it in our week when we were breaking down these games, why I took the Eagles was Kansas City was going to have a couple drops, and they had more than a couple. And it was a play here or there that, and it's like Mahomes is doing everything he can, putting shit on dots. And it's like, damn, that 4th and 25 or 4th and 27. I'm sorry, Justin Watson, catch the ball.
Catch the ball, bro.
Catch the ball, man. Mahomes puts it in a place when it's do or die, 4th down, and just heartbreaking for the Chiefs, but it's just another win for the Eagles where it doesn't look good.
No.
But to get the job done, I mean, that's a scary team, though, in my mind, because, I mean, the question is, are they going to figure this shit out? What is it eventually? Is this just an ugly winning team? But if they do get things going, scary.
Yeah, it's something we talked about last week's show is against this Philadelphia Eagles team, you can't make mistakes. You can't just miss out barely, and Kansas City made plenty of mistakes, and obviously showed in that second half. I saw a stat earlier today. On the season, the Chicago Bears have more points scored than the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
Overall,
Shocking.
Yeah, overall. Well,
Three straight weeks, the Chiefs have scored 0 points in the second half.
Yeah, I was going to say,
That
That is
That's
insane.
they flashed
That is insane.
The stat during the game. The Chiefs have the lowest total points in the second half in the league.
yeah.
Out of every single team, they are the lowest scoring second half team. And that's not something you expect out of Kansas City, Reid, and Mahomes. But, I mean, at the end of the day, they're still at the top of the AFC banging around.
Right.
So,
But you know how many touchdowns the Chiefs have scored in the fourth quarter all season long? One fourth quarter touchdown. That's crazy to me. That just doesn't make any sense, man. Like Colin, you said, the last 3 games, they haven't scored a single point in the second half. What is happening to them? Why are they falling apart at halftime? Is Andy Reid just not making adjustments? Is he getting out coached? Are the players coming out flat? I don't know, man. But their offense is not fun to watch. Travis Kelce does he's still putting up the statistics, but he doesn't look like Travis Kelce anymore. It's just he's lost a step. It looks.
I know. Sage retorted with oh, he's on pace for 1,200 plus.
Right.
When I said that week, Nate, and you agreed with me. But I mean, just physically on the field, you can see it, man. And I get he made a play the next exact play, but he dropped a big 3rd down and had to convert on 4th going back to him. But it's like, man, would Kelce of a year ago, 2 years ago, not made that play and turned upfield and gotten an extra 15, 20 yards? Probably does. I mean, you can't just hate on a guy for aging, but that's a big part of the Chiefs offense. And they made the decision to go lackluster receivers because we've got Kelsey and Mahomes. That's enough to uplift everybody. But guys, you got to bring in somebody. They got to address the receiver position immediately because this is a championship team that could cost them big time.
Yeah. I mean, you can't get away with not scoring in the second half. You just can't. Colin, what were you going to say?
Well, you talk about two of their certainties they thought they had offensively, Kelsey and Mahomes. Mahomes threw a terrible red zone pick. I mean, underthrew Justin Watson on that throw. And then Kelsey also a fumble in the red zone. So it's like those are two of the biggest miscues of the game. We can talk about all the drops we won, but, you lose by 4 points, and those are 6 points, arguably, if no turnovers in the red zone. So,
yeah.
I mean, give props to the Eagles where props are due. Winning ugly is a talent in and of itself, because any team can win when everything's clicking, but can you win when, shit's hitting the fan? And somehow over and over, they continue to do it. As a Cowboy fan, first half of that game, I'm like, all right, we're going to be a game back. We're a game back. Let's go. And then it's like, okay, just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Here they are. I will say also, I hate Sirianni after the game, just doing Sirianni things.
Same.
He reminds me of like that dad that never like succeeded in athletics. And then he's like living vicariously through his son's success.
Yes.
Kind of like a LeVar Ball almost, but he doesn't have the exact bloodline to the players. It's like Sirianni like almost celebrates the win as if like, I know coaching is a part of the game. Like he is contributing to the win, but it's like, dude, you're not like out there. Why are you talking shit?
I mean, he's running down the sidelines doing the incomplete sign when Valdez-Scantling dropped the winning touchdown. You just lost. You should have lost the game if a competent receiver is running underneath that ball and you're celebrating it. It's like when a DB celebrates a ball thrown 20 yards out of bounds by, seatbelt. It's like, bitch, you didn't do anything. What are we celebrating?
And I can't lie, looking at this game, a reason I just went Eagles is this is a game in the regular season, revenge, and it's just going to be meaningless at the end of the day. At the end of the season, a game it doesn't mean anything if they don't win the Super Bowl. But add a way to get your revenge in the regular season.
I mean, I guess if anything, devil's advocate, it just proves to them, I guess, confidence wise, that they can beat this team if they 100%. See them again.
That's true.
In Arrowhead too,
in Arrowhead,
like they're winning ugly, but they're beating great teams doing it. Like
that's true.
They're not beating I don't know, the Giants by a last second field goal, and they're like, oh well, we're winning ugly. It's like no, they just went into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs. Like that is damn impressive in and of itself. But yeah, surprisingly a disappointing game last night. But
last thing on that game, real quick before we move on, where was AJ Brown?
One catch.
Where was he at? I heard a lot of people chirping on Twitter about CDs like 30 yards in his game.
Where's AJ Brown? Huh?
Especially against a team that runs a lot of man in the Chiefs, and that's where AJ Brown feasts.
L'Jarius Sneed is a good corner, man. And so is Trent McDuffie. That Chiefs defense is legit. It's crazy that we're 11 weeks into the season, and it's like, are the Chiefs offense going to hold them back? Is that what's going to stop them from going back to back? Is the offense?
Yeah.
Crazy to me. But what didn't disappoint once again was Collins Locks going 4-1 again, 21-7 on the last 28 locks, man. That is absolutely insane. I mean, and what was the only one that lost? I have it here.
It was CeeDee Lamb's receiving yards over.
That's right. Everything
That's what
else
happens.
Yeah. See if you
tug
ever
on the heartstrings. I go with a homer pick. I go with my guy who's rolling, and then all of a sudden, not a big passing game for Dallas in general.
Yeah. All the other ones looked really good. DTR by a point, love that. Or by a yard, I should say. He had 165 and it was 166. That's beautiful. First half, Eagles Chiefs, that last second field goal to end the half to take it over.
They killed that Mahomes pick we just talked about. It's like, oh, the Chiefs are going to score here, and this first half over is just going to, cakewalk, and then the pick, and it's like, oh boy.
Yeah. But damn, another impressive week. Sage's sleepers. I mean, Rondale Moore had that first catch with a minute into the game. First catch, 48-yard touchdown. Didn't see another ball all game. The big one, Kene and Nwangwu. I was like, this guy's on the Vikings. And I pulled up their box score and didn't see anything. I'm like, no, he's not. He's not on the Vikings. No, yeah, he's on the Vikings. He just didn't get targeted or run the ball once. So really hope you didn't take that sleeper, everybody. Russ had a good day. But otherwise, the sleepers were a little rough this week. Quentin Johnson had some drops, though. Man, the Chargers receivers had a rough outing.
Yeah.
They cannot lose that game to Green Bay.
Justin Herbert visually frustrated on the field to the sound enough I've seen, and it's like, man, it's just piling up.
Yeah,
Brandon Staley, bye.
And Staley's getting pissed at the reporters and
Yep.
shit. And it's like, man, I mean,
My
you spent
defense played great. What are you talking about? We played
Lit 'em
great in the
up
run.
320 yards and 2 touchdowns, man. He lit them up.
Yeah, your
was
defense
terrible.
had the Packers 3rd and 20, pretty much on their own side of the field, deep in their territory and DPI to extend the drive. And then Jordan Love marches like 4 more plays, touchdown. That's your defense right there, Staley. Yeah.
Staley. Yeah, their defense has just constantly failed them this season. It's crazy, man.
That's one of those ugly Chargers losses where it's absolutely not on Justin Herbert. As much as we like to talk shit about Justin Herbert, his late game interceptions, like that's one where it's like Keenan Allen in the end, like right at
Hits
the
him
goal line, drops
literally
it,
in the chest.
Quentin Johnston on like that might be a walk-in, like he might
Yeah.
get caught, but that's probably a walk-in touchdown to take the lead. And it's just like,
Yeah.
What else do you want him to do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one you cannot put on Herbert, I don't
Phillip
think.
Rivers 2.0, baby.
That's what it is, man. They're gonna have such good stats his whole career, and they're never gonna be able to get it done, which is just Chargers football, man. It's just Chargers football.
Joey Bosa, I'm pretty sure, just went on IR too after the
Yeah,
game. So it's like there goes the defense as well, which is already struggling.
Already not great. Take out the best player, arguably. Addison, your takes came awfully close. I was really worried about it, I'll be honest. Arizona, I thought was going to pull it out against Houston. Like you said, Tampa Bay was feisty for a little while, and then 49ers pulled away. And fortunately, the Dolphins defense showed up in Miami on Sunday as the offense wasn't horrible. I mean, it wasn't fun to watch always, but I'm at the point, which is nice. This is a nice place for me to be at, where when my quarterback throws for 320 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick, I'm like,
Yeah.
It's not impressive. But it's like a year ago, I'd have been like, fuck yeah, sign me up for that. Sign me up for that stat line. But damn close on those.
Damn
takes.
close. I mean, it was a really long shot parlay with 3 massive underdogs, but 10 to win over a G that close. I mean, I'll take that every week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And for it to come down to that, how close it came down to, well done with those, honestly. News around the NFL today. Matt Canada, offensive coordinator of Pittsburgh, fired. It was about time. Glad Tomlin finally deviated from never firing an assistant in midseason to finally firing an assistant that needed to go. Players were done with him. Deontay Johnson was visibly angry. George Pickens wanted out. It's like, okay, you're losing everybody, pal. We got to do something here.
I mean, when Chris Boswell, after a game, you can hear Canada screaming. He's like, that's not because of you. I can guarantee you that. And it's like,
you didn't win anything.
Chirping your brother. The kicker is chirping the OC. Not good.
Mm-hmm. That's bottom. That is rock bottom. So good for the Steelers, man. That should be a big bump for them.
Yeah, I mean,
now it opens the question. Obviously, Canada needed to go. I'm not arguing that fact. He should have gone probably, a month and a half ago, honestly. But now it opens the door. It's like, okay, Kenny Pickett. What's the next excuse on offense? It's got to be the quarterback if it's not the coordinator, So we're going to learn a lot about Kenny Pickett, and I don't know who's stepping up into the role. I didn't see who was taking over play calling, but we'll learn a lot about him as well. So
yeah.
Interested to see what the Steelers offense looks like going forward.
There was this, highlight reel of Kenny Pickett's throws past the sticks in the most recent game, and it was nothing but missed throws, balls that bounced to the receiver, overshot him by. It looks bad, man. He has no swagger at all. Like, he is so in his own head right now. He almost looks like he has the yips.
Yeah.
Like, he's just not throwing it. He doesn't look smooth. I know from all my years of playing quarterback, right, I can tell when one is really throwing it right. He's got a hitch in his giddy up, and he's got to get that fixed straight away. I think it's a confidence thing, honestly. They've just coached him to death, and now he's no good.
Yeah.
Real quick before we move on. I know a guilty pleasure of yours, Nate, is scrolling through fan bases on Twitter who are fan bases in shambles on Twitter, and it's Steelers so Twitter was interesting to say the least on Monday. I was having a fun time myself as well. So
it's a great time just to read what these people have to say. I mean, it is so unhinged. It is. If anybody watching this is looking for something to do on a Monday and you got 20 minutes, go look up a team that lost that maybe shouldn't have lost, or a team that looked terrible, and go scroll through their Twitter feed. Oh my God, it'll warm your heart. You'll feel so much better about your own team. It's great. It's a good time. Other news, and we'll talk more about this in one of our games. Zach Wilson, not just benched, 3rd stringer, all the way to the end of the depth chart. Feels like a panic move. I don't know why they're going to Boyle. I mean, my God, he's terrible.
Yeah, can't get much better, but
right, yeah.
Worse though. Can't be worse.
Right. Just they had to get Josh Dobbs or someone else at the opportunity that they had, and they're like, "Oh no, Zach Wilson's our guy." It's like, what? And
Or
it
even
seems
like
the-
Joe Flacco, like a guy that the Cleveland Browns just brought in. It's like Flacco was there last year or the year
Yeah.
before even. It's like he
Yep.
semi knows the system. Like I know Hackett's a new coordinator, but it's like Flacco at least knows, the culture a little bit in the team. So I mean, a veteran president, Super Bowl MVP. I mean,
Yeah,
Tim
something.
Boyle is a known loser. I mean,
Yeah,
he's making millions of dollars. Like I'm not questioning his lifestyle and everything,
Right.
but
Yeah, the
as far as
quarterback.
playing the quarterback position, his claim to fame is Aaron Rodgers. That's
Yeah.
it.
I honestly think that that's the only reason why Hackett isn't fired is because Rodgers doesn't want him fired. They're like, no. And I get it, right? They were put in a tough spot. They built this entire offense predicated on Aaron Rodgers' quick decision making and his ability at quarterback. And he got 4 snaps, and then it was Zach Wilson to come in and try and do the job. That's tough. But we're at week 12 now, and the offense still looks inept. Like, you have to figure something out, guys. Aaron Rodgers is walking through those doors. It's time to make some changes. You've gotten 3 months of the season, and you haven't adjusted at all.
Yeah, Rodgers practicing in 2 weeks is what he's eyeing. All right, man, you're gonna be there's no way. There's no way, first off. And the Jets would have to win the next 2 games to even make it. I mean, against the Dolphins, good luck. Falcons, Texans, maybe, but then Dolphins again. It's just you look at there maybe is 4 wins if Rodgers was actually healthy, but guess what?
Yeah.
That's not going to be the case. And
Right.
what's
And
the point?
Friday, they'll be on their 15th different offensive line combo.
Yeah.
It's their 15th different set of 5 because Becton's already been ruled out, so they're missing him too. So they're just beat to hell, and you feel bad for Zach Wilson, but I obviously really don't.
Yeah.
But it's just a disaster over there. I don't think there's any other big notable things around the NFL this early in the week. I'm sure there'll be more as the week goes on. But that is just kind of recapping last week. Colin, you're the only Mortal Lock winner of the week. Puts you squarely in first place. I have completely fallen off. Just a real disaster. We did mess up last week. Addison, Bobby took
Bobby. Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay. I mean, that's fine. It's just it's what if that's a Mortal Lock.
Loss. Yeah, guaranteed the loss. Yeah.
Pretty much. Pretty much.
Yeah, last in game pick overall record, but I'll take the 21-7 run on the locks and then first place of Mortal Locks. So we'll take our small wins when we can get them.
Yeah.